That's some real manure quality right there. That the pigs are getting enough feed out of the feeder. Dynamite comes in small packages.
It doesn't take much to make the fat kid sweat.
Good morning, everybody. We're up here at my site and we're gonna just do our daily pig chores up here today. Honestly, on the farm there hasn't been a lot going on. You know, we got done spreading manure, we got done with harvest. We haven't got any more baby wiener pigs in a while. We haven't loaded out any pigs in a while. The next batch of overstocks will be going out of site 1, and that should be coming up in a couple weeks, but it's really just been kind of boring around the farm. Not much new and exciting stuff going on. So today we're just gonna walk through the pig chores, give you some updates on some pigs, fix some stuff. But before we do, I wanted to address the comments of people that have been asking me, Sawyer, you look different. What the hell's going on with your eye? What's going on with your eyebrow? Are you dyeing your eyebrow white on purpose? Do I look like the kind of guy that would dye their eyebrow on purpose? I mean, guys, come on. Randomly, like a few months back, my eyelashes started to turn white, slowly but surely. And now all my eyelashes on my left side are completely white. And I thought that was the end of it. And I went to a dermatologist and they said that it's probably vitiligo. And if it starts spreading, let them know. Well, it started spreading and it spread to my eyebrow. So I think it might end up taking my whole eyebrow and make it white. And if that's the case, I guess I'm gonna be called Spot, just like one of these spotted pigs. And there's really not much you can do about it. I think it's an autoimmune disease that just happens. Have you ever seen anybody with white patches across their skin? That's kind of what vitiligo is. I tried dyeing it for a while to just make it look like my natural hair color on my other eyebrow, but that's not really working anymore. It seems like the pigment in my eyebrow won't take the dye. So I think God's just telling me, Sawyer, I want you to have one eyebrow that's white and one that's brown. So we're just gonna have to roll with that. And that's all I'll say about it. I don't love it, but it is what it is. When I get into the barn, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the dead stock, because we want to get the dead stock out, and so that the healthy pigs don't chip away at the dead stock. And also it's not good to leave any dead stock in the pen. So first thing we do is look for dead stock, get it out, and get it out of the barn. Other thing that I'm doing periodically when I'm walking is I'll jump in a few pens and I'll check the feeders. I'll check the water in the feeder to make sure not anything's plugged up, that the water's running good, that the pigs are getting enough feed out of the feeder and not too much or not too little, those kind of things. And as I'm walking the alley, I'm looking for feeders that might be plugged up, etc. But I always just check and make sure we got water pressure, make sure our feeders are good. And those are kind of the 3 basic things that you look for, especially when they get to this size of pigs. So as I was looking for dead stock, I actually came across one. So we got one dead pig we need to get out of the barn, get them out of the pen, and then get them out of the barn. I don't care if it's cattle, pigs, poultry, whatever. The reality is you're gonna have dead stock no matter what. As caretakers, as farmers, we do everything in our power to avoid that outcome and to try to keep as many pigs or as many chickens or as many turkeys or cattle alive as we possibly can and have a good life and raise them up to be a quality protein source for humans. Even if you do give your 100% to that mission, you still have pigs that pass away, that die. And it might be because of a genetic issue, digestive issue, they could get sick and they could die. And you can do everything you can to avoid that, but it's still gonna happen. And it's just kind of the nature of the beast. It happens, it's the reality of it. So really, this group of pigs has been pretty decent. I mean, it's not the best group I've ever raised in my life, to be honest, but it's not too bad. Our death loss hasn't been where I want it to be by any means. These pigs started out strong, and then as we pumped manure and the temperature change happened and winter came, it hit these pigs pretty hard and they got the flu and we lost some pigs. And so we're just coming out of that, and the pigs have gotten definitely healthier since then. We're gonna go to site 1 here later today and we're gonna fix some stuff and give you an update on those pigs. But overall, pretty happy with how these pigs are turning out. What are you doing?
Well, the Whistler women all went and left us, so we got to fend for ourselves. So we're like Village Inn, breakfast served all day long. Well, while we're cooking away here, I'll give you a few fun facts. And first of all, you know, we talked about how we use propane to heat our hog buildings. We use it to dry corn. We use it to run generators. There's all kinds of things that you can use propane for, but probably the most popular for most of the world is people cook on it. About 42 million homes are using it for what I'm doing right now. And over 12 million homes across the United States rely on propane for all their heat and cooking. The thing that I love the most about propane when it comes to grilling is you have a lot better temperature control than you do with like electricity. So you can really keep your temperature where you want it. It's made here in America, and because of the great distribution system that we have, it's available everywhere. And it's available the year round. And the way we operate on our farm and our lifestyle, we rely on propane heavily. Another great thing about propane is you put it with some farmer grade meat, makes great breakfast. So if you're a farmer looking to purchase propane powered equipment, PERC has an incentive program that offers up to $5,000 off of qualifying equipment. So go to propane.com/farm incentive. And one more thing, shut your griddle off. Don't forget, shut your tank off. Just one more piece, and then it's time to get back at it. Maybe 2 more pieces. So we got our bellies full. We came over here to site 2, but I'm fighting the urge to lay down on this mat and take a little nap with these pigs. I don't think they'd accept me, and they would chew my ears off, and I'd look even funnier than I already do. We got a few things here we need to do, but as Sawyer said earlier, there's not a lot going on. All our sites are about a month apart for each group, and these have been a real burger. The pigs are in the north room that we got first. Started perfect, had very little trouble with them. These, the sow farm they came from, broke with PERS. They're about the best they've been, but they're a little rough haired. They feel a lot better. They got good activity today, but man, it's been a struggle. And when you get groups like that, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails, because you get tired of treating pigs and dragging dead pigs out and trying this and trying that, but they're pretty good now. They're getting better every day. So they'd actually look better if they had a little more light, but we got about 5 burnout bulbs. So we're gonna replace some of my twice bulbs. They're actually sold as once bulbs, and they're LEDs, but I'm finding out that now they're twice bulbs because I'm having to replace them, and before long they'll have to start calling them third. So nothing's forever, especially when it comes to light bulbs.
So last week I said, you know, there's only a few things it pays to be tall in a hog barn for, and I said it was the nipple bars, hanging nipple bars. But other thing is changing light bulbs. I don't even need a step ladder. So we're gonna take this old one off, out with the old, in with the new. My hand-eye coordination, well, that works. Hand-eye coordination's never been great. There you go. Success. Dynamite comes in small packages, but sometimes it's not very practical.
You're what, 6'2", 6'1"?
6'2".
6'2". I'm 6'1".
Yep, there you go.
5'7", 4'11". Let's just leave it that I'm shorter than you are. Look at that. You should send that in to John's Big Old Fish. Maybe they'd give you a t-shirt.
Stringer of light bulbs, baby. Alrighty, so now we're up at site 1, and we're gonna be doing some more odd-end jobs up here. What do you got that for?
Well, Sawyer, your mother asked me to fucking knock some sense into you. I'm doing some subtle adjustments. I told Sawyer I was gonna hang pictures and have him hold the nail, but these cups, they get tweaked a little bit, and I don't know any better way to get them back straight than subtle reinforcement, I guess.
happens if you don't make those adjustments?
Well, they'll finally get them cockeyed enough that the bolts will turn enough between the two bars that they'll get loose, and they'll just start sliding them back and forth. So keeping them straight up and down also keeps them tight. We have an adjuster that doesn't adjust. When the pigs are working on these over time, these tabs, because stainless is hard, it'll metal fatigue and the tabs start breaking off. So it doesn't really matter if all the teeth up here and down here are fine. If these two teeth are missing, this whole piece is of no use. And we've got one in there that these two teeth are missing on one side. So we're gonna replace it.
What adjuster is it for?
So this is for the feeders. This is what adjusts. There's a rod that bolts on each side here, and that's what adjusts how far open the gate is at the bottom where the pigs eat. You can see the tabs down there. That goes in like that. Get our top bolts on. Okay, and then we'll put our adjusters on.
How's the biting feel?
Gosh, they're relentless. Woo! It doesn't take much to make the fat kids sweat, but anyway, they won't be bouncing that. And we'll come back tomorrow. That feeder should look a lot better by tomorrow. So when you don't know what else to do, go start checking all your nipples, and you're either gonna find them that aren't shutting off and the cup is running water out, or you're gonna find them that the cup's dry because the nipple's either plugged or the spring's broke. So when you don't know what else to do, just grab a bag of nipples and start making yourself useful. This one's just barely running. It's about plugged up. You gotta have a pair of vice grips too, because you can't hold on to this pipe, and these tabs are too cheap, and you'll just bend them when you're trying to undo the nipple. So you gotta have something in there to brace it. Nice. Now we're gonna flush it out. So this is what we have. And they got a mesh screen in the top, and these things will pop out, get down inside of them, and then I can't even get, you're supposed to be able to unscrew this, and then inside of there, there's a spring, and that spring is probably broke, or else the orifice is plugged up. This is an Edstrom, and it just has a rubber disc in it, no spring, way less crap to go bad in it, way better. Way better. So just like we were talking about the feeders, how we have 160 adjusters, you have 160 cups on this site. Every cup has a nipple. So at some point, you're gonna probably either have to take out and clean, or you're gonna take out and replace every nipple in the barn. So it's always a good idea to have a few parts on hand.
You better like nipples.
Yeah, unfortunately I like nipples, so, you know, that helps. Holy cow. We are fired up this afternoon, so. Yeah, get it, get it, get it. They're loving life. So we're back up at Sawyer's site, and we got one project left for the day. And this is a little unusual. But this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this bucket and we're gonna fill it with manure out of the corners of this pen. This is gonna get shipped to Georgia to LWE's factory, where they have one of their machines down there running, and they're gonna analyze it and run it through the machine and see what they get out of it. Because we've got all kinds of samples of manure that's out of the pit, but the problem with that is that manure has already started breaking down. So you don't really know the qualities of the manure that is fresh, and that's what we want to know, because when we start processing this manure in real time, when we say real time, that means we're going to be switching back and forth between the pits that we have every 21 days. So the manure that's in the pit shouldn't be more than 3 weeks old anytime we're running, and probably less than that. And so we want to get an idea as to what the properties of that, what the fertilizer value of that is, how hard it's going to be to separate it, and what the final product's going to look like when it comes out the other end. So to do that, you got to have a little raw material. All right, we're digging for gold. Got a big pile of poo-poo right here. Big old pile. Are you sure you don't want this? You can get the corners better with that.
I'm gonna stay further away as I possibly can, so.
All right.
This is the fresh stuff. We want to get the fresh stuff. You don't want this old stuff, you want this fresh stuff. That's some real manure quality right there.
Mmm, tasty.
Looks like me after Who Hot. That's a big pile of poop right there.
Fresh, super fresh.
Those are fresh as fresh can be right there. I bet the nitrogen is unreal on that turd.
It's enough to make your eyes water.
Yeah. You know, I never thought I'd have to scoop shit in this hog barn.
Yeah,
never thought that'd be a reality, but here we are.
We're literally back to scooping shit by hand.
Life takes you in interesting places.
I told the people, if you're following a UPS truck down the road and a bucket rolls out, don't hit it.
Yeah, do not hit it. That's good advice. Stay clear of the buckets. Just